What's up, YouTubers? I have something super special for you today. The one, the only, Freelee the Banana Girl, aka Vegan Hitler herself. I know this topic has been touched on by a few YouTubers. I think the most notable is probably Undoomed. He does like a bunch of anti-feminist stuff, I guess. I don't really know. But anyway, that particular video was pretty funny. I don't really watch much of his other content, but yeah, shout out to him, I guess. But anyway, I just wanted to showcase probably the most narcissistic vegan that I've found on the internet since Vegan Gains himself. And, well, actions speak louder than words, so let's just jump right into the first clip here, and I think you'll see what I mean pretty much right off the bat, but it does get so much worse.
So, today's video, why I'm superior to you.
Is this bitch serious?
Okay, first off, the superiority complex is real with this one. I cannot fucking believe these words are coming out of her mouth. Anyway, secondly, like, why the fuck does she feel the need to force meme herself, and that's supposed to take the edge off of this a little bit or something, I guess?
And I knew this video would ruffle feathers, that's for sure, but you know what? I want to create change, so that's what needs to happen. The truth needs to be told. See, as a vegan, we get this comment a lot. Oh, vegans think they're superior to us meat eaters. Vegans think they're better than us meat eaters. Well, I hate to break it to you, but we are better than you.
Wow, Freelee, I really don't even know how to begin with this one. For one thing, you're not really backing up anything with any evidence or facts, or even an indication that you have any at your disposal. And not to mention the fact that, you know, I think something that really rubs me the wrong way with your channel is that you claim to have been through so many profound life-altering experiences, like getting off drugs and losing a lot of weight, and you claim to do what most people do when they survive these things, and that's you want to share it with other people to help improve other people's lives. But that's not what you're really doing. Somehow the whole process just kind of turns you into an asshole, and I'm not really sure how exactly that works. I don't think I actually want to know, to tell you the truth.
Hey Fruitbats, so we've definitely been covering some shitty topics lately, literally, so I thought I'd continue on with that and show you how I squat on the toilet. Well, I don't always squat like that. I sometimes use a squatty potty. Squat on the toilet.
Okay, so that last clip probably seemed a little random, but I really just used it to illustrate the point that the narcissism runs so deep on this woman's mind that she literally has to shit differently than other people. Just to stand up on her toilet seat and spray her fucking banana pudding all over the bathroom, just to make herself feel like she's a superior human being. Okay, so this errant and egotistical perception that she seems to have of herself actually extends to every aspect of her life. She even made a video about popular YouTubers who are subscribed to her, and the really funny thing is if you look down through that list, they're mostly people that she's roasted in the past or people that have roasted her and they're just waiting for another shot. They're not actually subbed because they like her. Maybe there are a few exceptions to that rule, and if you can identify them, then I'd suggest avoiding them at all costs because they're probably every bit as fucked up as she is. Okay, now on to the banana diet. To be fair, she did lose a lot of weight doing this, and here's a before and after picture. She used to look like this, and now she looks like this, so congratulations, Freelee. You did it. You look amazing. It's just really too bad that it didn't really affect your personality in a positive way at all whatsoever. Anyway, so I'm just going to dive into an older video next here, which will explain a few interesting things about her banana-only diet.
Tell us a bit about what you ate today.
What did I eat today? I had
everything you ate. Don't leave anything out.
Okay, I had 2 litres of orange juice for breakfast.
Yep.
I had 15 bananas for lunch.
Yeah.
And I had another 15 bananas for dinner.
So about 30 bananas total.
Yep.
And 2 litres of orange juice.
2 litres of orange juice.
And what about water? Did you drink any water today?
I drank 3 litres.
And when did you have the water?
I had a litre when I first got up.
So you had you drank a litre of water before you had your orange juice?
Yeah.
Okay, Freelee. 3 liters of fluid plus whatever liquids in the bananas themselves. That doesn't really sound like a very good idea. Maybe you're not aware, but there is something called water intoxication or water poisoning, and it happens when you overhydrate yourself. Most people wouldn't even come close to that throughout their daily lives, but honestly, like 3 liters within the space of, you know, half an hour or whatever, however long it takes you to eat breakfast, that is just way too much. Like, I can't imagine how you can even feel content or healthy with all that liquid in you. Okay, I'm just going to move on to the next video here and give you guys a little bit of a visual perspective as to what this actually looks like. It's pretty gross, I'm warning you. Okay, so that was pretty gross. Maybe it bothers me a little more than some people because I actually don't really like bananas that much, and I just can't even imagine doing that to myself. But other than that, I also wanted to just you know, show you what it looks like visually before I jump into this next section here. I'm actually going to do a Google search, and let's jump right into that. Okay, so I just did a quick Google search to see if I could find any information on whether or not bananas actually can cause detrimental effects to a person's health if they consume too many of them. And I found this article on medhealth.net, and according to this article, the answer to that question is actually unequivocally yes. I'm not going to go through the whole thing right now because, as you can see, that would take me forever. But I do want to touch on a few key points that jumped out at me as I was reading this, and I will leave a link to this article in the description below, just in case anybody's interested in checking out the whole thing. But anyway, first off, I just want to mention headaches. Like, it doesn't seem like a big deal. You know, everybody gets them, everybody's experienced a headache before. But common sense would dictate that if your headaches are actually caused by consuming too many bananas, that continuing to consume too many bananas is going to increase the frequency and severity of those headaches, and that you know, is just gonna lead to an overall decrease in your quality of life. You know, I imagine most people that actually do experience this problem don't even associate it with bananas at all because they just don't have access to that information. But anyway, moving on, sleepiness isn't really a big deal. I guess eating too many bananas can make you drowsy for some reason. But then you get down to hyperkalemia, and I'm just going to read this one here. It says, bananas are a great source of potassium, but too much of a good thing can be dangerous. Too many bananas can cause an excess of potassium, who knew, which can trigger hyperkalemia. This condition causes nausea, a slower pulse, and an irregular heartbeat. It can also trigger cardiac arrest. Jesus Christ. More than a dozen bananas in a short span of about a day can lead to too much potassium in the system. Wow, more than a dozen? This bitch eats 50 plus. I don't even know how she's alive still. This might need to be treated with diuretics and kidney dialysis. Wow. You know, if you have access to even a fraction of this information, I don't know why you would even consider setting yourself up for that possibility, but I digress. Nerve damage. Okay, now this one is a much lower risk factor because you literally have to be eating double the amount of bananas per day that Freelee eats, which I don't even know if that's humanly possible. But the interesting thing about this one is it's actually caused by the vitamin B6 content in the bananas rather than the potassium. So if you overdose on vitamin B6, apparently it can cause nerve damage. Now, it seems very unlikely that anybody would actually ever reach that amount of bananas in a 24-hour period, but you know, say you eat like 20, 30, 50 bananas a day, and then you follow that up with vitamin B6 supplements, you could actually inadvertently cause this. So anyway, I thought that was worth a mention. Tooth decay, and I'm going to get into that. That's just basically telling you that you should brush your teeth after you eat things. Right? Common sense. Anyway, then this one's particularly interesting, lack of fat, because it directly contradicts some of the things that Freelee is used to promote her diet. Anyway, it says bananas contain no fat, which makes them ideal for dieters. Okay, so yeah, bananas are good in moderation. We didn't know that. However, everyone needs a little bit of fat in their diet, so a practice of eating only bananas would prove detrimental to a person's overall health. Dietary fat is essential to brain development, okay? That explains a lot in Freelee's case, so I'm just going to go right out and say that. So avoid eating only a banana for a meal. It makes a great snack or can be paired with other foods, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, basically the reason I mention this is, you know, if you take this into account, along with all of these other risk factors, you know, it becomes painfully apparent that what Freelee is doing is not really in the best interest of her viewers and could quite possibly be actually dangerous to their health. I mean, could you imagine being young and having a weight problem, and you come across this woman, and you know, maybe you come across her life story first, you know, where she talks about overcoming her own weight problem and how she did it, and then she starts selling this miracle diet to you, and you think, oh well, that sounds great, you know, I just want to go out and try this, you know, maybe this is the thing that I've been looking for all my life, you know, maybe this will fix my problems, right? And you just trust it because it's coming from Freelee, okay, just because she says so. But the thing about Freelee is she isn't backing things up with facts, she's not backing things up with, you know, research or evidence of any kind. She just comes up with an idea, and she is so high on herself, she is so narcissistic that she tries to not only sell that idea, but she tries to indoctrinate other people into believing that as much as she does. And it's really quite disturbing if you think about it that way, because a lot of the people that follow her, they don't really have a clue who the real Freelee is, and they have no clue that some of her advice could actually be harmful. And the last thing that a person that is looking for a solution that appears to fall in their lap is actually going to do is go and look up contradictory information. It's just human nature. They're not gonna hop on Google before they try this and go up and look at, you know, the possible side effects, the possible negatives of doing this. They're just gonna say to themselves, oh well, you know, Freelee did it, and now she looks like a supermodel, so well, I'm just gonna try this because Freelee said it was okay. Anyway, I don't want to take up my entire video just harping on this information here, so I'm gonna move on into my next clip, and yeah, without further ado, let's play it.
There needs to be drastic change. We need drastic action, or else we're going down the shitter and we're taking the rest of the species with us. Okay, we're destroying all the other species, including ourselves. So obviously the load needs to be lightened on Mother Nature. We need to stop draining her fucking resources and then until they're all gone. So what I propose is that people have a test. They need a license, a permit before they procreate, before they have children. They need to pass a test. And that men get vasectomies. All men have to get vasectomies, and males, before you go off at me, before you're like, oh my god, don't touch my balls, I'm not going, you know, she's fucking crazy, what a bitch. The reason I propose that males get vasectomies and sterilized as opposed to females, well, females can if they want, it's because it's less invasive to have the vasectomy than it is for females to have their tubes tied.
God damn, Freelee, you just went from 0 to 1,000 in like 30 fucking seconds. Honestly, I am not really even sure how to respond to this yet. I know there's more to it that's going to help me build on my reaction, but I think I'm just going to continue from here. I think one important thing to note is that she is talking about entirely removing the freedom of choice that people have to procreate. You know, she wants it to be totally government controlled, government regulated, and I'm assuming that at the top of that government is some kind of vegan hierarchy that controls all of our lives. I don't know. This is so weird.
There is another procedure that may be out called HEIL, which you might want to look into. But anyway, so men get vasectomies, and then their sperm is actually taken away from them.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, am I the only guy here that can't find his balls because they've retreated into his stomach? I mean, this is just sick. Like, just look really quick at the way she says this. I mean, she's like, I want to take your sperm, and she's like smiling. Oh, fuck. Just take a look at this really quick. I'm gonna slow it down.
And then the sperm is actually taken away from them.
Okay, so this shit is just so fucking next level at this point, and it's so creepy. I mean, this is like totally Orwellian. I mean, you know, there's stuff in here like straight out of the fucking eugenics Bible. I mean, this bitch is out of her mind. Like, where does she come up with this shit? Like, who actually reinforces these ideas? This is insane. I mean, she literally wants to abduct the sperm from every living man on planet Earth, impose forced vasectomies on them, and then have people pass a test in order to apply for a breeding license?
Yes, that's right. And if they pass that test, then they're allowed to have their sperm and procreate. So what is that test going to consist of? Well, you tell me in the comments below what you think. I think they definitely need to have a stable income so they can actually look after children, like a child, have money in the bank, that's for sure.
Okay, so forget for a moment that her twisted fantasy ideology is entirely unrealistic and more than likely could never actually be implemented in any kind of realistic sense whatsoever. Yeah, just throw that idea out and just imagine that the worst case scenario imaginable actually occurred, and this is the world that we live in. Those are the rules, okay? Well, in a society like that, you're gonna have a number of problems based on the way that this is set up. Number one, you have no freedom to, you know, procreate. You have no freedom to eat what you want. You have no freedom to think what you want. I mean, you know, freedom of anything is more or less gone by, you know, under the system that she's described here. Well, unless you're a vegan, then I guess you're at the top tier of society and you can do pretty much anything, including making new rules for the lowly surviving meat eaters in society. But yeah, you know, total removal of freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom of action. You know, probably freedom of religion too, I would imagine, because veganism is practically a fucking religion to some people. But on top of that, there is also the matter that she did not list any stipulations regarding the test that actually leads up to acquiring a license, other than, you know, you must be financially stable. Now, I think what she actually omitted here, and intentionally, is that one of the key stipulations would be that you have to be vegan in order to be able to apply for one of these licenses, okay? Meaning that what she's actually advocating is you know, a soft form of genocide, just breeding an entire group of people, an entire subset of people out of society over a period of time. You know, that's pretty fucking evil. I mean, that's like some shit Hitler would come up with. You know, on top of that, she also fails to mention what would happen to the people that actually end up violating this law, because, you know, there are always going to be people that violate the law, and if it's a controversial law like that, then, you know, there are going to be more violators, right? So what happens then? What happens if somebody gets pregnant without a license? Are you advocating forced abortions? Do you want to give China a ring and ask them how their one-child policy's been working out all these years? I mean, you know, seriously, what the fuck planet, what the fuck reality do you live in? You're out of your fucking mind. Anyway, before I get too pissed off here, I think I'm gonna actually cut this video off here. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching, and please check back again soon for more new content, including hopefully a follow-up to this video. If you did enjoy this, please give me a like and a sub. It really helps a lot. And I also want to say that I really appreciate the surge in subscribers recently. You guys are great. I mean, I know I'm a very small channel, but I do appreciate it. Yeah, 130 isn't exactly enough to do an entire video on, so I'm not going to go that far, but I do want to say that I've noticed it, and I do appreciate it. So anyway, I will see you next time. Peace out.